Consuelo, thank you so much for your time today. I'm so excited to introduce our Heart of Hollywood magazine readers to you. And please tell me about your career background and what brought you to become the CEO of SohoMuse.
Oh, well, it's so lovely to meet you, and thank you so much for having me. Um, so I've been a singer-songwriter my whole life. I was signed at 21 in England to a record label named Sanctuary Records and had the wonderful opportunity of working with just amazing songwriters and producers. And I left my deal and I moved to LA and I had a seven-piece male rock band, which was so much fun. And
Oh,
we toured and played all around like the LA circuit. And we recorded it was like it was our version of an album. We did like an 8 single EP, and our first single from that record, "Naked," ended up staying in the Billboard charts for I think like probably 20 weeks. And
amazing.
basically, it started my whole kind of dance pop career, which was just so much fun. So I feel very blessed that I've had the opportunity to be able to work in music, to have meeting amazing creatives. So that really inspired, excuse me, I would say the intersection in my life between business and being a creative, and really trying to gain control over as an artist, rights, distribution, opportunities, which are so hard. And I think especially as a young artist, really being able to do that. And so the birth of Soho Muse came from really a necessity. And so we define ourselves as like the LinkedIn for creatives because we do everything that LinkedIn doesn't do to help to empower and support creatives.
Wow, congratulations on all you accomplished
That's so
so
sweet. Thank
far.
you. Thank you
Wow.
so much. Thank
You're
you.
very welcome. And I actually was on the Soho Muse site. I
Okay.
understand it's an exclusive invite only platform. Can you please tell us more about it?
Yeah, so what we do is there's two tiers currently right now. We have a younger tier, which is for high school students and upwards, and then our main tier, which focuses in on creative working professionals. So whether you are a fashion designer, a musician, a director, as an example, we don't vet at all based on how we feel about your work. Let's put it that way. We're not elitist in any way, but you are working in the profession that you're submitting, right? So that's an important characteristic because what I found, and really working internationally, trying to navigate and find a hub where brand X is looking together to put together a fashion show or a music video or a feature film. How do you find all the talent in one place? And most creatives are very multifaceted. So you probably have 4 to 5 different agents, and that's a very arduous and frustrating process. I'm like, wouldn't it be amazing if you actually would be able to, have everyone together? So
Yeah, I just love this so
thank
much.
you.
And you're welcome. And you have exciting news. I understand that you have the rights to James Dennis's story. I'm excited to learn how this came about. How did you learn about James' story in the first place?
So Jimmy Dennis is truly one of the most extraordinary human beings I have ever encountered in my life and truly changed my life in many ways. I was introduced to him through a political fixer, and I didn't understand what that was. I didn't know I've never heard of that profession before in my life. And she had asked a friend of mine if she could meet with me. And I said, yeah, fascinated. I would love to meet with her. And so we sat and we had lunch, and within probably 10 minutes of me being there, she said, I want to introduce you to someone. And she picked up her phone and she called on FaceTime Jimmy. And within 4 minutes, I was absolutely hysterical. And from there, I asked if I could go to Philadelphia and I could go meet with him. And so I left 4 days later, and never knowing this person or, really understanding. And I didn't do my due diligence at this point. I was more just, I was so impacted by this person on the screen and what he shared with me and his heart. So I went there and I spent a lot of time with him and Corby, who's his significant other, and I learned this horrific story, how this man spent 25.5 years on death row for a crime that he didn't commit. And sadly, this is, a story that happens to people, and it's so horrifying. There are no words to describe it. I think that what inspired me the most about hearing his struggles and his plight, he started out as a singer-songwriter, and what's most important to him more than anything in this world is that when you Google him, it says R&B recording artist. So he stands with the authority that that's really who he is. He wrote 1,000 songs while he was on death row. He changed 7 laws in Pennsylvania. He found the law himself. He was beaten up brutally every single day of his life. And he overcame this there are no words. I mean, horrific, the brutality that he endured. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling how honestly that he still is the man and became the man that he is today. True.
Wow. I'm speechless. And this is heartbreaking, but also a story of perseverance and resilience. And it's going to impact so many people. His pain and trials and tribulation is going to make a huge impact on the world. I understand that you want his story to be turned into a book and a scripted series. Is there any details that you can share about that, or is it still in the works?
We do. So I was able to acquire a private investor for him, and so he started to work with this wonderful writer named Queen Muse. Queen Muse actually wrote this amazing article where he felt was the most personal, detailed understanding really who he is for the Philadelphia Inquirer. And so they started writing together, and it is a humanity story. It is a story that someone never giving up hope, the family, like his children, what they endured, but how he found his light and how music was his salvation, how it really is just that feel good, like, oh my God, how does this happen? And the ending, which is amazing, and this is a recent ending, is that in the state of Pennsylvania, he was awarded the highest settlement that has ever been received. And that's not only after the 25.5 years that he was in and on death row, but actually afterwards that he was home for 6 years. So now you're looking at a situation where it's just like, this is so amazing. And, when you ask him the question, how does he feel now? Right? Knowing that the money's coming in, knowing that his answer is, it's not about him now. The money really is for his family, his children. He'll never be able to take that back that time. No one will. We have a very honest conversation about that. I can't, it's like everything in this business. It takes a long time. It always takes a lot longer than what you think it's going to take. Beating down 1,000 doors in order for someone to hear, for someone to see, for someone to understand. It's always, you know what I mean? It's, and I feel that my own plight in life is to be able to give voices to people that don't necessarily have the chance and the opportunity to be able to have their voice heard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I just feel inspired. And just by listening to you, I can sense the genuineness and James wanting to tell his story and being involved with telling his story as well. And that, he would give that money back in the heartbeat just to have that time that was lost with his family. Like you said, 100% for sure.
Yeah.
What messages do you hope that viewers and, take away, and readers, if it's going to be a book as well, take away from his story?
I think, the sadness of life is that, as I said, we've heard similarities of this story in different iterations.
Mm-hmm.
it's hard also in a narrative, me telling this, right? There's a lot of judgments and other things. And again, as I said, to me, everything's about how can it serve as a higher purpose, and what does that mean? What is a higher purpose, right? A higher purpose is to get people who actually become accountable, right? So whether from his perspective, from the DA, from the cops, from every single different element of how he was set up and framed into a situation, how can we be more aware? How can we be more present? How can we stop this? How can we fight the judicial system? How is no not a no? How is all of those things? Do you know what I mean? And I think it's really being conscious. Does it stop? No. Let's be honest. It's not that it stops. It's just creating the awareness to give it a voice, to give it a present, to, you know what I mean, to give it an anchor that way. And that's my fight. My fight is that. My fight is to let's get this story out there and told so that another Jimmy doesn't happen tomorrow, so that we can stop that, or at least you give caution. There's thought, right? Those jurors, people are awake, they're aware, people are conscious. And that's all we can ever do in life, right?
That's
Don't
beautiful.
History repeats itself. We know that. So let's stop repeating the same history over and over again. Let's find a new narrative. Let's find a new change. So that's my goal. So
Wow.
we're on the journey for a scripted series right now, which is so exciting, and his book, and potentially a documentary. There's so many different aspects of where this can go.
I agree wholeheartedly. Are there any other projects you're involved with at this time, or is SohoMuse and amplifying Jane's story enough on your plate right now?
Acquiring the life rights, which is such an honor and a gift to be able to do that, and to be able to show that SohoMuse becomes the job place, meaning that we are in production and we're hiring our talent within our community, which is, I think, so important, because I believe that creatives, there's a precedent that said the creatives don't necessarily need to get paid, or that they can do things for free, or they're discounted. It's like, no, not okay. Don't stand for that at all. So that's a very important part of what I do with SohoMuse. I have a handbag line that's coming out in October, which is very exciting. And thank
Congratulations.
you so much. And I've got, we do a lot of events throughout the year because we want to bring together our extraordinary creatives. I work a lot in the Latin American market, which is 18% of the US. And they are totally an underserved market that are not enough attention to the amazing creative talent that's coming out from Latin America right now. And recently I've been back in my music, which is so exciting. I didn't think that I'd find my way home, and I did. So after a 4.5 year hiatus, my last single was #5 in the US. It's been an amazing gift to come back and be writing the music that I want to be telling to the world. And yeah, so.
Wow, you are such an inspiration, Consuelo, and I definitely commend you. I'm going to continue to follow your career and support all the
You.
things that you do.
That
How
means a
can people
lot.
follow you on social media?
Please go to Consuelo_Vanderbilt, SohoMuse.com. Anyone who's a creative, come be part of our wonderful world. And I'm also on Facebook and LinkedIn as well.
Wow, definitely, definitely, definitely commend all the work that you're doing. Not only are you a creative, but you're making a divine impact. I definitely salute you. Thank you so much again for your time. Oh
Means
my
a
gosh, you're
lot.
awesome. I can just
So
talk to
are
you
you.
forever.
Me too. That really means a lot. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the interview, and thank you for the wonderful questions. And I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Bye now.
Bye bye.